here is the reigning and defending British Commonwealth and WBA International Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley.
Well, here comes Fabio Wardley as we just lose Ezra Taylor. Brilliant speaking to you, Ezra, and look at Fabio Wardley. He's just got that assuredness about him. He looks like he belongs here. He's got that star quality. He believes he will retain those titles on Saturday.
He absolutely loves it, doesn't he? You can see it. He loves every single second of it, Fabio Wardley. He enjoys fight week. He's one of these characters who genuinely just really enjoys fight week. He uses it as a way to pass the time. Time can stand still a bit for fighters during these days building up to a fight, but I think he engages with all this stuff in the way that he does because he finds it fun. He finds it fun, and he's good at it too. I can understand why he enjoys this.
Well, we are delighted to be in the company of his promoter, Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren. Frank, great to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. Listen, this is your man, Fabio Wardley.
Yep.
Fancy it on Saturday? Fancy this one?
I do fancy him. I thought he won the last fight, but I'm not getting into that. This one for him is a must-win fight for him. He's got the ability to do it, and I think he'll come through it.
And should he come through it, what are you looking at? Because he'll be the British Commonwealth champion, brilliant unbeaten record. Feels like the winner from this really moves on to big fights.
The winner of this next year will be in the mix to get to the stage by the end of 2025 after a few of these world title fights have taken place and the belts may fragment. So these guys are going to want to get in mandatory positions and he'll be in some big fights. He'll be fighting the likes of maybe a Joe Parker or a Zhang and all those guys. But he's got to come through this fight.
Can I just quiz you on a little bit of other business whilst we got you here? I was very, very interested and excited actually to see that the WBO and IBF, I think, well certainly one of them, has mandated Hamza Shiraz for Janibek for those two titles. What are your feelings on that? Is that going to happen, or do you have other plans?
We'll see. I've got to speak with him first. I haven't spoken to him about it. We only found out about it this morning, and we'll see what happens from there. You know, he's capable of sharing the ring with any of those guys, and I believe he has the ability to beat them as well. But we'll sit down, look at it, and see what the options are, and then make our decision.
Well, we are looking at Fabio Wardley. Tell us why you signed Fabio. It seems pretty obvious, right? But give us a little bit of a sell on this guy.
Well, we give you a sell. Did you see his last fight?
I did.
Sold himself.
I did.
That's why we signed him. You know, he's a quality operator. He's competitive. He comes to fight. He's articulate. He does everything that's asked of him. He's got a great way about him. And most importantly, he can fight a bit.
He can also play the role of trainer here. He's taking Robs on the pads. Yeah. What is going on, Frank?
Well, all the hard work's been done now. Just all this today is just a bit of show. But all the hard work's done, and we get down to the big fight on Saturday night. It's going to be interesting.
It has been interesting. I'll tell you, I don't think I've seen anything like this before, Andy.
No, this is a novel approach. I've not seen anyone do this. But this is typical of him, isn't it? You know, he likes to think about doing things a little bit differently and just having some fun. And he's having some fun with it. And it's great to see because this is a really serious business.
And he's relaxed.
He's very relaxed.
He's in a good place.
Exactly.
I don't only mean too relaxed on Saturday, but he's in a good place. And you know, it's good he feels that way. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying the big stage. He's on the big stage now. And this is going to be something special, this fight. There's no doubt about it.
I just wonder if Fabio Wardley if Fraser Clark is somewhere watching him. He didn't take his eyes off him yesterday. If he's watching him now, he's thinking, what's going on here? He's just taking his trainer on the pads.
Well, he'll find out what's going on Saturday night, because that's when it counts.
Absolutely.
We had the undercard announced yesterday for the rematch between Tyson and Alexander Usyk in December, and the next step on the road for Moses Itauma is Dempsey McKean.
It's a good fight.
That is a good fight, isn't it? And people talk about getting fighters in the early stages, a mix of styles and a mix of everything really, and that has he been chosen Dempsey McKean with that in mind? But also when he's a high-level fighter.
First of all, he's got one loss, and that loss was against Hrgovic, and he was 12 rounds with Hrgovic. Got to the 12th round with him. So you look at Hrgovic against Daniel Dubois, you know how dangerous he is early on in a fight, and this kid's still a teenager. Moses is still a teenager. This is a big step up for him. And this guy's going to try and old man him. He's going to have experience. He's going to try and put it on him. And it's be interesting to see how Moses deals with it. This is a very, very significant fight for him at this stage of his career.
Well, Moses is just one of the stories in the heavyweight division right now. It feels like there's so many. There's a new fight being made every day, a new story, a new chapter. Can you remember a time recently where we've seen the heavyweight division so alive, Frank?
It's absolutely on fire. You know, Riyadh season's made a lot of this happen, and that's why this has been so good for boxing. It's why everybody, I hope and I do believe, they all appreciate it, especially this heavyweight division now. The fights are happening on a regular basis, big fights. You looked at the undercard, you know, and the undercard and the show that's being put together for next year, early next year, there's some fights on there that are going to set you, well, you're going to love them. Real good heavyweight fights. The heavyweight division is on fire with good fighters who are fighting regularly and delivering good, top quality fights. Every fight, none of them have been a bore. They've all been exciting fights.
And it's changed the careers of so many fighters, the trajectories. You look at Daniel Dubois and how his heart was, you know, he was down. And then suddenly he's in there with Big Baby Miller, he's in there with Hrgovic, he's in there with AJ.
This time last year, you know, people saying that's his lot. It shows what you can do. If you believe in yourself, you've got the grit and determination, which he's shown, and he's come through, and now he's the man.
I can't believe it's been a year, by the way, Frank. We've had a year of Riyadh season, knockout event after knockout event. It's all gone so quickly, though.
Well, look what it's being opened up with. I mean, this fight is this unification fight is probably one of the best fights to take place in the last 5 years. It's a great, great fight. You know, 4 belts on the line, 2 undefeated fighters. One's got the perfect record, 20 fights, 20 knockouts. The other ones are in Bivol's tremendous boxers. The Brits have seen them. They've beaten all the Brits they've entered the ring with. And what did we get the last time when all the belts were on the line? We got a tremendous fight with Tyson and Usyk. This will be up there with it.
Fabio Wardley.
Well, Fabio Wardley completes his workout here, gets a few photos done. He's got the Ipswich on. One day he wants to fight at Portman Road. If he keeps winning, I'm sure he can, Frank.
If he keeps winning, it'll happen.